May 13th, 2026. Wix's stock is in free fall. In the span of one trading session, the company loses over a quarter of its value, one of the worst single days in its history. Weeks earlier, on an earnings call, Wix's own executives had admitted their new AI platform had, in their words, holes and missing capabilities. Not a competitor saying it, not a short seller. The company describing its own AI product on the record. So how does a company millions of people already trust, one that spent 2 years telling investors AI was its future, end up losing a quarter of its value in a single afternoon? To understand that, you have to go back further, because Wix wasn't the first AI coding promise to fall apart, it was just the loudest. Meet Natasha. On the pitch deck, she's an AI assistant. Describe an app in plain English, and she builds it for you. No developers, no months of waiting, just conversation in, working software out. Investors didn't just believe it, they raced to fund it, pushing the company's valuation to $1.5 billion. Here's what Natasha actually was. Not code, not a model. 700 human engineers in India, typing behind a curtain while the company sold their work as artificial intelligence. And it gets crazier. The fake AI wasn't even the biggest lie. Builder.ai told investors it was pulling in over $220 million a year. The real number was closer to $50 million. The rest manufactured through fake invoices exchanged with an Indian media company called Verse Innovation, back and forth, for services that were never actually delivered. The founder, Sachin Dev Duggal, who called himself Chief Wizard, resigned in February 2025. 3 months later, the company that claimed it had automated software development couldn't even pay its own cloud bill. $85 million owed to Amazon, $30 million to Microsoft, both unpaid when the bankruptcy filing landed. Here's the detail that makes this worse. Microsoft wasn't just an unpaid creditor, it was an investor too, having put $455 million into Builder.ai the year before. The same company chasing an unpaid cloud bill had also helped fund the fraud that caused it. 700 people, 2 sets of books, one AI that never existed, and almost nobody outside the tech press noticed, because Builder.ai wasn't a name anyone recognized. Wix was about to prove the exact same lie plays very differently when it's a brand you've actually used. But you don't need a fake workforce to fail. Sometimes the AI is real, and people just stop using it. That's what happened to the biggest name in the game. Rewind, and the first crack was already showing, small enough that almost nobody called it a warning at the time. GitHub Copilot got there first, millions of installs. Every tech outlet ran the same headline. AI-assisted coding was inevitable, and Copilot was proof. But scroll into GitHub's own community forums, and a different story was already playing out. One developer described what should have been a 30-minute session. Instead, it burned through a quarter of their entire monthly allowance after GitHub quietly slashed credits and devalued each one. What was once, in their words, an indispensable daily companion had turned into a tool people had to ration. Another developer made one single request, and it burned through $6 in an instant. Not after a day of use, not after dozens of prompts, after one request. Longtime GitHub users started organizing to get Copilot's features out of their workflow entirely. 2 of the most discussed threads on the platform that year were developers trying to opt out. And one open source advocate put it more bluntly than any press release ever would. The push from the top seemed to have completely forgotten about customer retention. They wanted the AI usage numbers to go up, and they treated their own users as a resource to burn to get there. Here's the part the headlines missed. Getting installed and getting used are not the same thing. Developers opened it, tried it, and then, quietly, without a press release, without a lawsuit, without anyone outside their own team noticing, went back to writing code themselves. No bankruptcy, no stock crash, no headline. Just millions of small individual decisions to stop trusting the tool. The exact same decision Builder.ai's investors and Wix's developers would make later, at a much bigger scale, once there was finally enough money on the table for anyone to notice. That's the pattern hiding underneath all 3 of these stories. It was never that AI coding tools don't work, it's that every company selling one oversold what working actually meant, and the gap between the pitch and the product always surfaces the same way. Quietly first, then loudly. Which brings us back to May 13th, 2026. Wix's stock down over a quarter in a single session. The quote that opened this video, Wix's own admission that its AI platform had holes and missing capabilities, wasn't a leak or a rumor. It was the company's own executives, on their own earnings call, explaining why the thing they'd spent 2 years promising didn't exist yet. Lawsuits soon followed, claiming Wix lied about how good their AI really was, and how much it actually cost. To be clear, these are allegations, not a verdict. Wix has not been found liable, and the case is still active. But look at what connects Copilot, Builder.ai, and Wix. 3 different sizes, 3 different years, the same failure underneath. Sell the promise of AI that replaces the work, ship something that still needs humans to cover for it, and hope nobody checks before the money runs out. By 2026, the numbers made the same point on a much bigger scale. 84% of developers said they used AI coding tools, but trust in what those tools actually produced had fallen to just 29%, down from 40% 2 years earlier. Adoption was going up, confidence was going down. Copilot's users found out first, quietly. Builder.ai's investors found out next, in bankruptcy court. Wix's investors found out last, and the market made sure everyone else found out too, in a single afternoon. The real question was never whether AI can write code. It can. The real question is how many more of these afternoons are still coming.